response operation in Cleveland. Last night, Chris took in the convention chaos alongside the RNC's fast-paced research team. Take a look.
So are you looking for facts, details? You looking for controversy? Looking for a little bit of all those gaps?
A little bit of everything. But I think one of the things that we've seen throughout this election cycle is just how much Hillary Clinton and her campaign play fast and loose with the facts, and it's important to hold them accountable in real time so they can't get away with it, so the voters know the truth.
The rapid response used to be 4 hours, 6 hours. Now it's 4 or 6 minutes, and maybe that's too slow.
How many hours a day?
25 right out of a 24-hour day. They're operating around the clock and getting as much information out to as many outlets as possible, at any given moment.
Did you have a strategy session, or do you have one every day? For example, today, after Debbie Wasserman Schultz stepped down, did you say, okay, tonight we're going to?
Absolutely, yeah. Tonight, our message is about Democratic disunity. It's driving all the examples of signs in the audience of booing.
My daughters and all our sons and daughters now take for granted that a woman can be president of the United States.
Can't say anything bad about Michelle Obama, can you? Her approval ratings are too high.
Well, it seems like we have a target-rich environment where we can focus on a whole lot of other folks.
And leave her alone.
Of course.
Upstairs is Rapid Response. Is this the ring where Sylvester Stallone worked out before?
It is. This is the ring. We booked this space about 2 years out. Had no idea that this is what we'd be looking at this week, but it is definitely ironic.
You're going to leave her alone? Of course.
Yeah, because they're right above the Sylvester Stallone boxing gym that he used in Rocky V, and there's punching above your weight, and then there's Ali at his prime against Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like what you would do if you tried to go up against Michelle Obama. Having said that, last night, they put out a lot of stuff. For example, 0 mentions of ISIS in the speeches. They really drove that home to their people. They also have these videos of all the times people booed. So they did find things to respond to, without a doubt, particularly that appeal to their base, get them riled up.
But what's interesting, though, and Casey, you were bringing this up while it was going on, that wasn't the Trump team. Hillary Clinton's team had her rapid response team going in Cleveland, but that was the RNC.
This is a pretty visual example of the lack of Trump campaign infrastructure and the fact that they haven't built this up. I mean, you would expect the RNC, and Reince Priebus and his team have done a good job on all of that, but they've really had to step in and fill the void.
So along with Casey and Chris, we have Senator Claire McCaskill in the house. Here, but
it's just like breakfast at my house every morning.
Exactly. So the convention off to a good start. What do you say to Bernie Sanders supporters as we move along here?
I couldn't really understand why there was so much attention to the fact that there was booing and discord. I mean, think about these folks. They have passionately gotten involved in politics, probably for the first time. The people who are at the convention are the most enthusiastic Bernie Sanders supporters in the country because they worked hard to become a delegate. Now, who in their right mind would think they're going to come to Philadelphia after this incredible movement they've been a part of and just sit on their hands and go, yay, Hillary?
Right.
Of course they're going to speak out.
At the same time, you wouldn't expect them to boo the prayer. You wouldn't expect them to boo Nancy Pelosi.
Or Elijah Cummings.
You wouldn't expect them to boo a rock star like Elijah Cummings.
I think that they are seeing it kind of monolithic, that there's an institution and then there's them. And what we're trying to do this week is make sure they understand that they are an incredibly important part of this institution. I think it takes time. I don't think we can expect, just because Michelle Obama was beyond amazing and just because Bernie Sanders did everything anyone could expect of him to do last night, I think it's going to take a few days for them to, and there'll be few outliers. Your folks will find somebody on the floor on Thursday that will say, I'll never vote for her.
Right.
But 90% of Bernie Sanders supporters are already voting for Hillary Clinton. So we are in a really good place right now in our party. And by the way, what was really nice about last night is it wasn't just a Trump trash Trump night.
Right.
It was positive. There were all kinds of uplifting messages, and everyone said her name over and over again, whereas a lot of the Republicans that spoke in Cleveland never mentioned the word Donald Trump.
No,
They
that,
didn't
we
even wanna say
noticed
it.
that, and the lock her up thing, it was
Yeah.
very, very negative. And the question was, were the Democrats going to return? I'm glad to see that that didn't happen. Willing.
There was a healthy amount of Trump takedown, though. Elizabeth Warren's entire speech was dedicated to that.
There was some shade thrown.
So we've heard the case against Donald Trump yesterday. We'll hear it all week. We heard the case for Hillary Clinton. If he's as bad as this convention says he is, and she's as good as this convention says she is, why is this race so close? Not just nationally, but in all these swing states, including the one we're sitting in. Why is this race close?
Well, in modern day politics, you pay a heavy price for being in the crosshairs of the opposition for decades and decades. I mean, every scar that Hillary Clinton wears, she got while she was in public service. Now, I'm not saying mistakes haven't been made, and I'm not here to say that, there aren't legitimate criticisms about how certain things have been handled. Obviously, the big one in the room is the emails. But I will say this, that what we're trying to do this week is make sure people see beyond the 30-second sound bites that are put out by the Republican attack machine. They see that she has been consistent. This is a woman who could have cashed out. I mean, think of what Tim Kaine and Hillary Clinton could have done in their lives.
They did cash out. I mean, they're worth $200 million.
Well, but I'm saying that she chose public service time and time again. She went back
She could have stayed in. Life would have been much easier if she had stayed out and just made
so much easier.
Yeah,
of course.
exactly.
And I think that is what the point that we want to make is that this passion she has for children, this passion she has for families, has been a consistent thing in her life for a long, long time.
Are you surprised at how well Donald Trump is doing at this stage of the game against Hillary Clinton?
I'm terrified. Honestly, I mean, I can't believe it. If anybody watched that press conference he gave the day after he clinched the nomination for president of the greatest country on earth, and one of the lines he said in that, I mean, think about this. If I would say this, what would happen to me?
Yeah.
Or any other politician?
Anybody.
He said, I don't understand why the National Enquirer hasn't gotten a Pulitzer. Well, nobody even made a deal about him saying that. I mean, that was like a throwaway line because of all the other crazy stuff he says.
So, Senator, does she stay with her game, or does she really have to look now, looking at the polls after that convention that so many people thought was a disaster for the Republicans, and he's up? Does she really have to do a reboot of some kind?
Well, I think, she is going to be who she is, which is one-on-one, warm, engaging, and as relatable as you could possibly imagine. And in public, somebody who believes very much that she's had to be strong and tough and unrelenting. And so to the extent that she can open up her personal side more, we all would love that. But she's got to be who she is. And on her worst day, she is infinitely better than the crazy Trump town.
So, Senator Claire McCaskill, I'm with you. Ever since you bullied me at my mother's art show in Chicago, I've been with you, Senator Claire McCaskill. Great to have you on board.
Thanks.
Love having you on.